Alvinators, welcome to a very special video. I decided, since Taylor Swift, who's one of my favorite singers of all time, since she just released her brand new album, I would basically rank all her songs, in a tier list. Because I know a lot of YouTubers do this sometimes, and I decided I would do it too with Taylor Swift songs, so you know how I stand with Taylor Swift's music, even though I'm a huge Swiftie and a huge fan overall. And I'm going to be completely honest. You're going to get I know I've done reviews with a friend of mine before of pretty much all of Taylor Swift's albums except for her brand new one she just released. Even though, most of those reviews were from like over a year ago, and so maybe my opinions have changed a little bit on some songs, or I wasn't completely honest with some songs, or some songs just have a bad taste in my mouth now, considering what I went through just this year in 2020. So I'm basically just gonna go through Taylor Swift songs and let you know what I think about them, and this is going to be completely honest because I want to be a more open and honest person going into the new year, 2021. And before I do that, I got a little something to show you guys. I'll be right back. I got this in the mail today. It's Taylor Swift's Folklore album, autographed by the one and only Taylor Swift. It's one of her best albums of all time, and I'm so glad I got it. Yeah, baby, yeah! Here I go. I can't believe it. Yay! Oh, and sorry if you just saw that. Sometimes I do take like screenshots and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I can't believe I got this folklore. Yeah, some of her best songs on it, and I've reviewed this album recently with a friend of mine. Folklore came out in July. Back in July of 2020. It was a surprise album release. So now, here I go. With my ranking, a tier list of all of Taylor Swift's songs from her debut album from 2006, which was her self-titled debut, all the way to her newest album, which is Evermore, which was released in December 2020. And today is December 21st, 2020. Which, speaking of, can you believe it's been almost, it's been almost, it's been like 8 years, I think. Yeah, 8 years since the end of the world was supposed to happen. Isn't that crazy? The end of the world was supposed to happen like 8 years ago. When the Mayan calendar, if you remember all that like doomsday nonsense. But yeah, here I go. Now, on the tier, we got literally life-changing, iconic bops, I Can Jam, filler, skip, and bleach hair Taylor. Which I don't even know why that one's going that bleach hair Taylor. But yeah, here I go. I'm going to start with her debut album and work my way up to her newest album, Evermore. First, Tim McGraw. Literally life-changing. I mean, could you imagine anything else? Picture to Burn. I would say an iconic bop. Not really literally life-changing in my opinion, but it is an iconic bop. Teardrops on My Guitar. Literally life-changing. I love the hell out of that song. Teardrops on My Guitar. And the music video, oh my god, don't get me started on the music video. Because that was actually the song and the music video that got me into Taylor Swift. That was the one that made me a true stan. That's when I became like Taylor Swift fan ever since. I've been following her career ever since. It was also around that time that I found out that Taylor Swift was just a little bit younger than me. I bet we were both born the same year, so I thought that was cool because I was 17 at the time that I think she released the Teardrops on My Guitar music video, and I was 17 as well, but I was getting ready to turn 18. Which I did turn 18 in February of 2007. But yeah, we were both born the same year, 1989, baby. Now, a place in this world. I don't remember it too much, but I do know I love this song, so I'm gonna put it in I Can Jam. Cold as You, OMG. Even though it's not really a bop, because it is kind of it is a track 5. It's a track 5 song, Cold as You. And it is emotional. I would have to put it in iconic bops. The Outside. I Can Jam. Tied Together with a Smile. I like it, but to me it's filler. I'm sorry. Stay Beautiful. I Can Jam. Yeah, baby. Should have said no. Oh my god. An iconic bop. I love that one. Mary Song. Oh my, my, my. I Can Jam. Our Song. OMG. One of the wonderful classics. I'm torn between literally life-changing and iconic bops. I think I'll put it in iconic bops because I want the tier of literally life-changing to be like songs like Taylor songs I can't live without. I'm Only Me When I'm With You. I Can Jam. Invisible. I Can Jam. A Perfectly Good Heart. Actually, I really love this one. I think I'm going to put that in iconic bops. But so this is my tier of just Taylor Swift's debut album, which was a self-titled debut in 2006. And if you notice, there's only 2 songs I'd put in literally life-changing. But I mean that's to be expected since it is just her debut album, and not many artists will find the footing like on their debut album. It's usually their second or third album that they really discover their, I guess, their style and what works best for them with their voice and their vocals. So, which Taylor Swift did definitely do that with her next 2 albums, Fearless and Speak Now. So I'm going to go into Fearless from 2008. Fearless. OMG. Literally life-changing. Love that song. 15. Literally life-changing. OMG. I love that song. I love the music video as well. And that song takes me all the way back to like 2009, 2010. Like that song was played on country radio a lot back in the day. I remember that one for sure. Love Story. OMG. Of course it's literally life-changing. That's one of her most iconic. And it's not just an iconic bop, like it's actually above that, so it's literally life-changing. Hey Steven. I actually really like this one, but I'll put it in I Can Jam. White Horse. I actually really dig this one. It's another track 5, and oh my god, sad as all hell. And emotional too. I would have to say literally life changing. See, if you notice a pattern here, Fearless, like, she was already killing it with Fearless. I mean, with Fearless. You belong with me. Yeah, baby. Of course it's literally life-changing. Why wouldn't it be? That is a great-ass song and a great-ass music video. And that was actually the music video that basically somehow, in some weird way, provoked Kanye West, of all people, to get up on stage and interrupt Taylor's acceptance speech when she won the award for, like, I think, Video of the Year at the 2009 VMAs, and the whole infamous Kanye Taylor moment occurred with, "Hey, I'm gonna let you finish, but Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time, and then he gave the mic back to Taylor and went like, I mean, people have been hating him like ever since because of that. And even Beyonce was in the audience like, oh my god. Like, did he just, like, he did it. Oh, wow. Like, just so. So, yeah, but yeah, so definitely You Belong With Me. Definitely, literally life-changing. That's one of her best singles ever and best songs. And I know that may seem like a cliche answer because everybody loves that song, but there's a reason everybody loves that song. Breathe. And I'm not talking about the Faith Hill song. But yeah, Breathe by Taylor Swift. This one is actually pretty good. I'll put it in I Can Jam. Tell Me Why. Another I Can Jam. You're Not Sorry, iconic bop. I love You're Not Sorry. Oh, The Way I Loved You, OMG. I would put that in iconic bop. Forever and Always. Literally life-changing. And that's, I think that song's about Joe Jonas, of course. One of Taylor Swift's mini exes. Yeah, that song is actually really good. Like, I really love Forever and Always. So to me, that's literally life-changing. The Best Day, OMG, the song that she wrote about her, about her relationship with her mother. And in growing up, from childhood to, pretty much how old she was when she originally wrote and recorded this song back in like 2008, of course. Yeah, this is definitely an iconic bop. In my opinion. Not really life-changing, but it is iconic. Change. Okay, I really love this song, and even the music video was pretty entertaining as well. So I would say I Can Jam. Jump, Then Fall. Now, I'll be honest with you, these 5 songs from Fearless that was like on the Platinum Edition, or the Deluxe Edition, whatever you call it, Jump and Fall, Untouchable, Come In With the Rain, Superstar, The Other Side of the Door. I don't remember them all too well. All Too Well, which is another name of a Taylor Swift song. So, I'm, as bad as this sounds, I'm going to put them all in filler. Because they wouldn't have been put on the original album anyway, and just as a platinum, they're good songs, but in my opinion, they were all filler. So, sorry anybody that I just offended with that, but that's just my opinion. You're getting the real honest Alvin from now on, and this is just how I feel about these songs. Now, on to Speak Now, which is one of my favorite Taylor Swift albums of all time. Now, I fucking love this album, and this has basically always been my favorite Taylor Swift album for years, even after she released some of her most recent ones. And I'm still torn whether or not Speak Now has been replaced as my number one, because since Folklore came out earlier in July, and Evermore just came out. I'm conflicted because I love both of those albums, but I also love Speak Now, and I don't know. I relate to a lot of songs from both Folklore and Evermore, and I actually, as crazy as it sounds, since Folklore and Evermore are sister albums, and were released so close to each other, I kind of consider them just one big long album. As crazy as that sounds, because most artists will release an album once every 2 or 3 years, and Taylor did the Unthinkable and released 2 albums in 1 year. Well, no, I mean there's been other artists who've done that too. Like I think just Eminem this year. Eminem has actually released 2 albums this year as well. Which was pretty much a continuation of his last album. I mean, which was pretty much one big long album as well, because Eminem, the famous rapper, he actually released an album back in January, I think, and this was before the pandemic started, and I think it was called "Music to Be Murdered By," or something like that, and that was side A that he released back in January. And now he just released, where he kind of like surprise released side B to Music to Be Martyred By just like a few days ago. At the time that I'm filming this video, so Taylor's not the only one to have done that, but I mean. So, considering that I love a lot of songs on both Folklore and Evermore, and she released the albums so close to each other, I actually consider them like one big, long album. So, that's why I feel like Speak Now may have been replaced, but at the same time, Speak Now will always have a special place in my heart, because that was also the first album by Taylor Swift I ever owned, and I was given it as a Christmas present back in 2010 by my Aunt Rose. So yeah, Speak Now definitely, Speak Now will always have a special place in my heart, and it has some of my favorite songs ever from Taylor. And I can't wait to hear the re-recorded versions of these songs, especially. Like, if there was one album that Taylor Swift is re-recording now, which album I'm anticipating listening to the most, of the re-recorded versions, I'd probably have to say it's a tie between Speak Now and 1989. But I'm thinking Speak Now because it's been so long since Taylor has released Speak Now. It's been 10 years ago, that I mean, Taylor was pretty much still like, she was still like in a very, very early, like, 20s, or when she recorded this album, like, she was like probably like 20, 21. Well, maybe not 21. She was probably like 19 or 20 when she recorded most of this album, or wrote most of this album. And so maybe because Taylor is literally 31 now, she literally just turned 31. Why I would love to hear these songs with Taylor's current vocals. When 1989, she released back when she was pretty much in her like early to mid 20s, and she just turned 31, so her vocals probably, like, her voice hasn't changed that much since 1989, even though that was like six years ago. So that's just my honest opinion. So the one I'm anticipating most is Speak Now, from her re-recorded versions that will hopefully soon be released. Now to get back onto the tier, mine. OMG, literally life-changing. It's the first song on the album, and oh my god, it snaps. Like, it is that good. It fucking snaps, baby. I love mine. Plus, I love the whole storyline in the video, and I mean, Taylor like basically seeing a future with this guy, and like even though they have fights and things like that, they always work things out. They have kids together. I mean, it's a very beautiful video. I love that video. Sparks Fly, an iconic bop. Back to December, literally life changing. Love that music video. That's another video, which brings me to say I love the video for Back to December, and I mean this is supposed to be like a apology letter or apology song to her then ex Taylor Lautner. I mean from the Twilight movies, and I don't know. I really love the lyrics to that song. And maybe that's another reason why I like this one song on her most recent album, Evermore, called "Tis the Damn Season," because I feel like "Tis the Damn Season" it's almost like a Back to December Part 2, or a Back to December 2.0, which is. So that's why I adore that song so much, and you'll see that later on in this tier where I rank "Tis the Damn Season." But yeah, Back to December, literally life changing. I love that one. Speak Now, an iconic bop. That's a title track. Dear John, one of her best track fives ever. So of course, literally life changing. Mean. I think I'm going to put this as an iconic bop. Same with The Story of Us. Iconic bops. Never Grow Up. A very beautiful song, and I would have to say I can jam. Enchanted, OMG, literally life-changing. This is one of her best songs ever, and it deserved to be a single, and deserved to be a music video, and I would never let it go. I mean, I'm just going to say that right there. Enchanted was one of the many songs from Taylor's past that deserved a music video that didn't get one. Better Than Revenge. Iconic bop. Innocent. I like this song. Not one of my favorites, but I can jam. Haunted. This may sound really crazy. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I gotta be honest. And this is what I want to be. I want to be more of an honest person. On this album. Haunted is one of the few Taylor songs I just don't really get into. I'm not really like a fan of. I just don't listen to it that much. It's almost like I can't believe I'm do this, but I gotta put it as skip. Sorry. I would skip Haunted. I'm sorry. It's one of those songs on Taylor's Speak Now that I just don't really care for. Even though it is one of my favorite Taylor Swift albums of all time, I just Last Kiss. Iconic bop. Long Live, literally life changing, one of her best songs ever. Long Live, I love that song, and I think that song came out 10 years ago. And there's even a lyric in that song about it's the end of a decade, which I think is crazy because that was actually the song I was listening to when we went from 2019 into 2020. Because of that one lyric, it's the end of a decade. But yeah, Long Live. That was Long Live was pretty much a love letter to her fans. Like I think Taylor literally wrote that song to her fans. And which I think is crazy because if you listen to that song Long Live now, considering what we've been through in 2020. And the fact that a close friend of mine recently basically dropped a bombshell that she did not like Taylor Swift's new album, Evermore. the lyrics in that song are pretty convenient yet ironic, because I do know those lyrics in that song about, like, I don't know, like, you'd have to listen to it, but I do know some of the lyrics had to do with if fate should step in. And I mean, not saying that my friend is like no longer a Taylor fan. It's just, I mean, Taylor finally released something that my friend did not like, and I don't know. It's just crazy, like, listening to that song now, considering that Taylor basically was singing about. I mean, because she wasn't just like singing to her fans or dedicating the song to her fans. It was also to the fans that she may lose along the way in somewhere in her career. Even though my friend, like, is still a fan. I mean, if that makes sense. But I do know Taylor has lost quite a few fans over the years, especially because some people just, it's almost like they outgrew her, or they just, I mean, it's almost like they just thought Taylor, they just didn't grow with Taylor, like, through the times. Just didn't like where she was taking her music. Like, some people only liked country Taylor when she was doing country music back in the late 2000s. I mean, between 2006 and 2010, pretty much. But when she transcended to pop, where she was kind of still doing country in 2012, but she was also crossing over in 2012 as well. And so, I don't know. So some people just, it's almost like they just, it's almost like those two types of people in the world, or maybe three. There's the people who like country Taylor, but not pop Taylor. Then there's the people who like pop Taylor, but not country Taylor. And then there's the people who just don't like Taylor at all. Well, I guess there's four kinds of people, because then there's also the people who like both country and pop Taylor, or no matter what genre of music Taylor sings. I mean, they still support her no matter what. So, but yeah, back to the tier R's. Oh my god, this song R's. Literally life-changing. That is one of my favorite songs ever by Taylor, and one of my favorite music videos of all time. Of all time. I love it because Taylor is like working in an office in the video. I don't know, it just paints this picture, like, I mean, because Taylor, I do believe Taylor has potential to be an actress. I know she's acted before, in a few things, but I don't know, it's just, that music video just, I don't know, I loved the whole storyline, and the scenes of Taylor, like, on her computer with, be like cat stickers around her computer, and I don't know, singing to her significant other, basically saying that during the day she's basically, like, her time is other people's because she's having to work and has a job and all this and that. But I mean, at the end of the day, their love will always be theirs. Like, and I love how the video ends with her. I mean, basically getting off a bus, and I mean, because she took the city bus to basically, like, go meet her man, and find out that her man actually is in the military, or is a vet. So that was really cool. I mean, that was really, really awesome, because the ending was not, that was actually one of the craziest plot twists in a music video ever, in my opinion, especially in a Taylor Swift music video, because nobody saw it coming. Now back to the tier. If this was a movie, I feel like this is one of her weaker songs, as bad as that sounds. I'm gonna say filler, because when I think of the title, if this was a movie, the song that comes to mind first is actually a Hannah Montana song, and so, yeah, so it's hard for me to picture, like, the Taylor Swift song if this was a movie. So, as bad as it sounds, I know some other people have already said this before, but Hannah Montana did it better, this concept in a song. So if this was a movie, so But yeah, so I just put filler. Superman. Now I remember I actually I really like this song, so I'm gonna put it in I Can Jam. So yeah, now you see my tier, how it stands now, and I've done with the first 3 albums. And there's only one skip so far, and it is from one of my favorite Taylor Swift albums of all time, Speak Now, and it's the song Haunted. I'm sorry. And one filler from Speak Now, which is If This Was a Movie. And then, and I Can Jam, Never Grow Up, Innocent Superman. And then the iconic bops, Sparks Fly, Speak Now, Mean, The Story Buzz, Better Than Revenge, and The Last Kiss. Well, Last Kiss. And then literally life-changing from Speak Now, Mine, Back to December, Dear John, Enchanted, Long Live, and Ours. So yeah, but now we're heading out to Taylor's 4th studio album, Red, which was Taylor's crossover album, in my opinion, because this was the album she released when she was kind of still country, but transitioning into pop territory as well. So yeah, State of Grace. This is, I remember, I really like this one. I'm gonna put Iconic Bop. It was the first track on the album. So yeah, Red, another iconic bop. I love that one. Treacherous, I Can Jam. I Knew You Were Trouble. I'm torn because I want to put in either iconic bop or literally life changing. I'm gonna say literally life changing because I mean that song did become one of her biggest songs of her career. All Too Well, literally life changing. It's like the ultimate fan favorite song from Taylor Swift's discography. So it's like the ultimate fan favorite. So I mean I couldn't put it anywhere else but literally life changing, and that's my honest opinion because I really love that song and the lyrics is so good. And I really hope we finally get the 10-minute version of that song, All Too Well, when Taylor releases her re-recorded albums. I mean, her re-recording. So, because, I mean, a lot of her fans are begging for it anyway. No, the original 10-minute version of All Too Well. Because she originally wrote that song as a 10-minute version, and she basically had to she basically edited it down to a 5-minute song from 10 minutes. So I mean that, which is crazy. 22, an iconic bop. I Almost Do, OMG, literally life changing in my opinion, and one song from Taylor's Red album that I can personally relate to, especially for anyone who knows me, knows about my past relationships, especially this relationship with this girl that I dated for 5 years from 2012, which was the year this album came out anyway. And I mean, all the way to 2017, and I still think about her to this day. And yeah, I Almost Do is definitely a song I could personally relate to. We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together. Literally life changing. I mean, it's undoubtedly one of Taylor's biggest hits, and I still really jump to the song, and I love the music video as well. Plus, this song came out at a perfect time in my life, especially considering that's basically how my mom felt about my dad and the relationship, because they were separated at the time. But my mom finally kicked my dad out of the house in July of 2012. It was July 17th, believe it or not. And I mean, it was around that time when Taylor had released We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together as the lead single for her Red album. And I remember when the lyric video for that song dropped, I mean on YouTube, I had to show my mom. I was like, oh my god, Mom, you gotta hear Taylor's new song, We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together. I was like, you're so gonna relate to this. And I was right. She was completely right, because I mean, I was completely right because she could not stand my dad anymore at that point. Like their relationship was too far. I mean, their marriage was too far gone to resurrect. So, "Stay, Stay, Stay," an iconic bop. I really like that song, and it's very catchy as well. "The Last Time." Yeah, I actually really like this song, and I'm gonna put I Can Jam. "Holy Ground." OMG, iconic bop. "Sad, Beautiful, Tragic." I actually really love the song, and I have to say, literally life changing. Actually, these next 4 songs I'm gonna put literally life changing because these were actually some of my favorite songs. Well, actually, these next 5, because these were some of my favorite songs on Taylor's Red album, the lucky one. "Everything Has Changed" with Ed Sheeran. "Starlight," OMG. Well, actually, that's kind of an iconic bop, but I'm gonna put it literally life changing anyway. "Begin Again." Oh my god, the music video for this song, one of my absolute favorites. And if I was to do a ranking them like my top 10 favorite Taylor Swift music videos of all time, I feel like "Begin Again" would make an appearance. Because that's probably one of my most played music videos on YouTube. I play that video a lot for some reason. "The Moment I Knew," OMG. Very heartbreaking, but I mean a very beautiful song. "Now Come Back, Be Here," I Can Jam. And "Girl at Home," I Can Jam. So yeah, that's my rankings of Taylor's Red album. Now if you see here, there's only 4 songs on I Can Jam, which is "Treacherous," "The Last Time," "Come Back, Be Here," "Girl at Home," and then iconic bops from Red or "State of Grace," Red, 22, "Stay, Stay, Stay," Holy Ground. And then literally life changing is "I Knew You Were Trouble," "All Too Well," "I Almost Do," "We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together," "Sad, Beautiful, Tragic," "The Lucky One," "Everything Has Changed," "Starlight," "Begin Again," and "The Moment I Knew." So yeah, now here we go with the next tier, which is 1989, baby. Yeah, this was Taylor's first forlorn pop album. Like, this was Taylor's big pop machine, if that makes sense. This was basically the album that basically would divide up some fans in a way. Like, this was the album that Taylor released when you either loved her or hated her, and she even released a few songs from the album. About her haters, and to her haters, and basically the media, how they portrayed her. As being this serial dater. Dater, if that makes sense. So yeah, a lot of iconic shit went on with this album, 1989, and as bad as it sounds, it did divide up some of her fans, because some of her fans only wanted her to be country, and the fact that she went pop. Some of her fans did not really care for that. So this was the album that basically proved whether or not you were a true Taylor fan or not. Welcome to New York, which was the first track on the album, and I would have to say I Can Jam. It's not one of my absolute favorites, but I could definitely jam to it. Blank Space, literally life-changing, and besides, it became like one of her biggest hits ever. So, I couldn't put it anywhere else, but literally life-changing. Plus, I really love that song. Even my mom loved that song when it first came out, or even when I first got the album, because my mom that was actually one of the last things my mom actually got to buy for me from she bought it for me from Target, because it had like the deluxe, exclusive deluxe edition. But that was like one of the last things I remember, like, that of my mom buying, like, something that she bought for me. before she passed away in 2015. So that's why this album specifically, just holds so much meaning to me, and why I feel so close to this album, because this album reminds me a lot of my mom. So yeah, because I remember 2014 all too well, which again, all too well. So yeah, Blank Space. But that's what I'm saying. My mom loved that song, especially that line about "I'm a nightmare dressed up as a daydream." My mom loved that lyric. Okay, Style. An iconic bop. Out of the Woods, literally life changing. That's one of my favorite songs from Taylor ever, and one of my favorite music videos as well. Plus, I also love that Out of the Woods is potentially about Taylor's relationship with One Direction's Harry Styles, which Taylor dated Harry back in 2012. I've always thought that song was iconic anyway. Or literally life changing. I mean, I still watch it. Besides Begin Again from Red, another music video I tend to play a lot is Out of the Woods from 1989. Here we go with All You Had to Do Was Stay. Track 5 from the album, and actually it was pretty iconic, so I'll put iconic bop. Shake It Off, literally life changing, the lead single from 1989, and one of her best songs ever. And that's the song that everybody references to this day anyway. About haters are gonna hate, players gonna play. Fakers are gonna fake. And I'm just gonna shake it off. It's one of her most referenced songs anyway, and I think it's one of her biggest hits, so of course it has to go in literally life changing. I Wish You Would. I actually really love the song, one of my favorites from 1989, so I'm gonna put it literally life changing. Bad Blood, I'm gonna put iconic bop. I know it should be literally life changing, but in my opinion, Bad Blood is just an iconic bop. In my opinion, it's not like a song that I would continuously listen to unless I'm in the mood for it. Wildest Dreams, I could jam. It's a very good song. I love the music video as well. Plus, I just found out a fun fact about that video lately because of Taylor's brand new album, Evermore, that she just released. I found out recently that Taylor Swift was actually playing pretty much her grandmother in the Wildest Dreams music video. That's why it took place in the 40s or 50s. And she was a movie actress, because in reality her grandmother was an opera singer and everything, and her grandmother's name is Marjorie, which we'll get to later on in this tier list, because that song is literally on her newest album, Evermore, called Marjorie. So How You Get the Girl, literally life changing. One of my absolute favorites from 1989, and I don't appreciate people sleeping on that song. Some people really sleep on that song hard, and it's not getting the appreciation it deserves. And I do believe it's a very underrated song. This Love. OMG, I love this one. An iconic bop. Same with I Know Places. OMG, I love that song so much. Which I also believe was another song inspired by Taylor's relationship with Harry Styles from back in 2012. Which I think is pretty awesome. Clean, OMG, literally life-changing. And I think it was the closing track for the standard version of 1989. Just brilliant. I love that song, Clean. And I can't wait to hear the re-recorded version. as well when Taylor releases her re-recordings. Wonderland. I could definitely jam to this. Same with You Are In Love. And New Romantics, I'm going to put as an iconic bop. But yeah, that's my rankings for Taylor's 1989 album. If you can see, there's no fillers or skips on 1989 in my opinion, which I think is ironic considering that Speak Now is like one of my absolute favorites from Taylor. But yet it has at least one skip for me and one filler. But with 1989, I mean, I can jam to Welcome to New York, Wildest Dreams, Wonderland, You On Love. Iconic bops for me are Style, All You Had to Do Was Stay, Bad Blood, This Love, I Know Places, and New Romantics. And literally life-changing, Blank Space, Out of the Woods, Shake It Off, I Wish You Would, How You Get the Girl, and Clean. Now, I'm on to what I think is my friends. Actually, a special shout out to Trish, Ice Piss Queen, because I think this is her favorite Taylor Swift album of all time. Reputation. So let's get on to it. Reputation, baby. Which was also the album that Taylor had just started, she just started this era when I actually discovered Trisha's YouTube channel and found out that she was a Swiftie like me. So yeah, ready for it. The first track on the album, and had one of her best music videos ever. Ever, one of her most epic. I'm gonna say literally life changing. I love Ready for It. Endgame, an iconic bop. I Did Something Bad, literally life changing. OMG, I love Badass Taylor. Don't Blame Me, I Can Jam. Not one of my favorites from Reputation, but definitely I Can Jam. Delicate, literally life changing, and I especially love the music video. Oh my god, the concept, the music video concept for that song. OMG, on point. On fleek, baby. Look What You Made Me Do. I would have to say, actually I'm torn between literally life-changing and an iconic bop. Because it had one of her best epic music videos ever. One of her most iconic music videos ever as well. I think I'm going to have to put it as an iconic bop. Because in my personal opinion, since I'm being honest, I can't really, I don't want to say it's literally life-changing, at least to me. So It Goes. So It Goes to me is one of the only songs on the album that I just don't get into as much as the others. So as bad as it sounds, I gotta put it in filler. I'm sorry. Sorry, guys. But yeah, Gorgeous. An iconic bop. Getaway Car. Anyone who knows me knows where I'm gonna put this. Can you guess where I'm gonna put Getaway Car? I'll give you 5 seconds. Is it gonna be literally life-changing, iconic bop, I Can Jam, filler, skip, bleach hair, Taylor? If you guessed literally life-changing, you're right. You're absolutely fucking right. Getaway Car, literally life-changing, and one of the most underrated songs ever, and one of the songs that deserved a music video, and I'm never gonna let that go either. Getaway Car is like the music video that got away. And the single that got away, because I thought it was supposed to be a single, and it just didn't get the justice it deserves. So hashtag justice for Getaway Car. Like, that song still needs a music video even to this day. So yeah, literally life changing, and it has one of the best like some of the best lyrics ever, and I love the outro. I love the outro to that song so much. It has one of the best outros in all of Taylor Swift's discography, like, ever. King of My Heart, an iconic bop, sang with Dancing with Her Hands Tied, dress, OMG, so beautiful. And actually, it's so sexy. I think I would have put in an iconic bop. This is why we can't have nice things. Literally life-changing. I love this. Why we can't have nice things. Same thing with Call It What You Want. One of her best love songs ever. Literally life-changing. New Year's Day. Now, since I'm going to be honest, I really, like, even though I really love the song, and I love the message of it, I would just put it as I Can Jam. But it's not like one of my absolute favorites from her. So yeah, that's my ranking of Taylor's Reputation album. It has one filler, from at least for me, so it goes. And then I Can Jam to Don't Blame Me and New Year's Day. Iconic bops for me are Endgame, Look What You Made Me Do, Gorgeous, King of My Heart, Dancing with Her Hands Tied, and Dress. And the literally life-changing, Ready for It, I Did Something Bad, Delicate, Getaway Car, This Is Why We Can't Have Nice Things, and Call It What You Want. Now on to Taylor's Lover album, which she released in 2019. Now, I really love this album, but in my honest opinion, if you want to know my honest opinion on this album, and this is going to be a controversial statement, I think this is Taylor's worst album of all time. Of all time. If I was to rank Taylor Swift's albums, like all 9 of her albums, for like from worst to best, I feel like Lover is even worse than Taylor's debut album in a way. Even though I love most of the songs on Lover, it's just, to me, Lover just, there's something missing for me on Lover. So I mean, in my honest opinion, Lover is Taylor's worst album. But I still really do like it. So here I go with the rankings. So don't be mad at me when you see some of the rankings of these songs. I forgot that you existed. I Can Jam. I Can Jam too. I forgot that you existed. I mean, but it's not one of my absolute favorites. Cruel Summer, I would have to put as an iconic bop, and another song that most likely deserved a music video. Here's where the controversy starts. Lover. I think it's one of Taylor's most boring songs ever. And I know that I did a review with my friend back in 2019, and I probably said I love this song. And maybe I kind of did at the time. But the fact that but I did that review back in August with my friend, when Taylor had just released that album. But the thing is, Taylor was promoting Lover, like the title track from Lover, for so long, and even releasing like remix after remix or new versions, even all the way to, because the album was released in August, and she released a music video in August as well, and then she continued to like let that single roll out like drag on even further to like all the way to November. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Yeah, I'm not really a fan of Lover. And not to mention, maybe another reason I don't like Lover so much anymore, besides that fact, is because I got in a toxic relationship earlier this year in 2020, back in February, and I was so deeply in love, so madly in love. I thought it was love. Like, I thought it was true love. I thought I finally found my soulmate, and yada yada yada. And I even created my own playlist on YouTube full of songs that made me think of my ex-boyfriend when I was with him. And it was all inspired by this one song from Taylor called Lover. And I literally called the playlist my Ethy Lover playlist. And I said Ethy because that was my nickname for him, because his name is Ethan, and we were really like close, and I mean everything. And I recorded my Ethy Lover playlist, and this was the first song on that playlist. Was Taylor's title track from Lover. And now that we broke up, like most people know how that relationship turned out for me. It became one of the most toxic and most uncomfortable situations I've ever been put in, and because of it, I lost so many social media accounts. I went through a lot of shit this year, especially even with this whole pandemic going on, COVID-19, and it just, this year has been hell on earth for me. And maybe that's why this song just has a bitter taste in my mouth now, or gives me a bitter taste. So that's why Lover for me is filler. I wouldn't necessarily put it as a skip, but I would say it's at least filler for me, if you want to know my honest opinion. So yeah, you can take it or leave it, or call it what you want, just like the song, which was a literally life-changing song. Call it what you want. The Man, OMG, an iconic bop, and I love the music video for that song as well. The Archer, I Can Jam. I Think He Knows, filler. Another song I don't really care for from Lover. Sorry, guys. Miss Americana and the Heartbreak Prince. Now, this one I actually really like. I gotta put, so this is the first song from Lover that we're going literally life-changing for me. Miss Americana and the Heartbreak Prince. I love that one. Paper Rings, an iconic bop. Cornelia Street, oh, literally life-changing. I love Cornelia Street. I actually do believe that's one of Taylor's best songs ever, and a song I can personally relate to myself. Death by a Thousand Cuts. Another controversial comment or statement I'm gonna make. Don't really care for this song anymore, especially like I don't. You know how people's opinions change. Even though I may rank this album pretty high back when I reviewed it with my friend back in August of 2019 when it was released, my opinions have changed quite a bit since then. And Death by a Thousand Cuts, to me, is another filler track from Lover. So my opinion, so far, Lover has 3 filler tracks, which is Lover, I Think He Knows, and Death by a Thousand Cuts. London Boy, I kind of like the song. I'll put it as I Can Jam. Soon You'll Get Better. OMG. Literally life-changing and very heartbreaking as well. And it makes me think of the relationship I had with my mom. Especially with what she was going through, because she had asthma and was always in and out of hospitals and stuff. And she didn't have cancer or anything, but she did eventually pass away in 2015, and that was like a huge loss to me and my family. So Soon You Get Better just makes me think of my mom. False God, an iconic bop. I really love that one. I actually love the beat. Wait, you know what? I'm gonna put literally life changing, because the sound on the song was out of this world. I mean, the beats. Oh, False God, like that was brilliant, fantastic. You Need to Calm Down. Actually, one of my favorite Taylor Swift songs ever. Even though it may seem kind of cliche, but I gotta put it as a literally life changing song. You need to calm down. Afterglow. I actually really like this one, but I'm gonna put I Can Jam. Me. Not one of my absolute favorites, but I would put I Can Jam, and it was the lead single from Lover after all. It's Nice to Have a Friend. I kind of like the song, but at the same time, this is one song from Taylor that I'm just not the biggest fan of for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe it's the way she's singing it, but I mean, I have to put it as a skip. I'm sorry. Daylight. OMG, I love this song. This one's actually going to go on literally life-changing for me, because that song is actually one of my absolute favorites from Lover. So here's my ranking of Taylor's Lover album. It only has one skip for me. It's Nice to Have a Friend. The filler track for me from Lover is the title track Lover, and I Think He Knows, and Death by a Thousand Cuts. I Can Jam to I Forget That You Existed, The Archer, London Boy, Afterglow, and Me. Iconic bops for me are Cruel Summer, The Man, and Paper Rings. Literally life-changing for me is Miss Americana and the Heartbreak Prince, Cornelia Street, Soon You'll Get Better, False God, You Need to Calm Down, and Daylight. Now here's songs from Taylor's, I guess these are like non-album songs and singles. Babe with Sugarland, OMG. That's gonna go in, wait, I need to get up there a little bit. Yeah, that's gonna go literally life-changing. Babe with Sugarland, oh my god, brilliant. Beautiful Eyes. Actually, I like the song, but not one of my favorites. I'm gonna actually put it in filler for me. Beautiful Ghost, OMG from the Cats soundtrack. Oh my god, her vocals were very haunting on this one. I'm actually gonna put it as an iconic bop. Both of Us, with rapper B.O.B. OMG. That's gonna go in literally life-changing for me. I fucking love that song, Both of Us. And it was actually one of the songs that got me through 2012, because I was going through a lot of hardships back then as well, and a lot of mental things back then. So, Crazier, I actually really like this song. I think this is from the Hannah Montana movie soundtrack. I'm gonna put I Can Jam, Eyes Open, I Can Jam, Half of My Heart. I like this song, but I don't know. I think I'll put it as I Can Jam as well. Highway Don't Care, OMG. That's gonna go in literally life changing. I'm sorry. I mean, Highway Don't Care with Tim McGraw, OMG. Literally life changing. I Don't Want to Live Forever, with Zayn from One Direction. In my opinion, I didn't really care for this song that much. This may sound bad, but I'm gonna have to put this as a skip. I don't really. I think it's from like the 50 Shades of Grey movie soundtrack, or I think the second one. Which I think was 50 Shades of Grey Darker. Yeah, I'm just not really a fan of it. I Heart ? I like the song. I'll put it. I Can Jam. I Lie, I Can Jam. Only the Young from the Miss Americana documentary on Netflix. I actually really love that one, so I'm gonna put Iconic Bop. Ronan, oh my god, one of her saddest and most beautiful, heartbreaking songs ever. Like sad. It's so sad, beautiful, tragic all around. Ronan, I would have to put it literally life changing. Safe and Sound. Skip. Could you see me put it anywhere else? It's a fucking skip, bitch. I'm just saying, like, I don't like that song. One of her worst songs ever. Which I'll actually say I actually have that in common with a friend of mine, because she doesn't like Safe and Sound as well. So yeah. Sweeter Than Fiction. I Can Jam. Oh yeah, I just got a message from my friend Elsa Welsa, Frozen Girl. Hey. Yeah. Oh, a special shout out to my favorite Frozen girl. Did you hear about the girl who got frozen? That's you, baby. Well, actually, you're not my baby. I don't know why I just called you baby. I started to like like, I don't know, get into like my inner Austin Powers or something like. I was like, yeah, baby, yeah. Groovy, baby. Do I make you horny, baby? A second now. Yeah, baby, yeah. But yeah, today was a fairy tale. Actually, I really like this one. I'll put I Can Jam. And then 2 is better than 1 with the band Boys Like Girls. I actually really love this song. I'm going to put it as an iconic bop. Now we're on to Taylor's most recent 2 studio albums from 2020. The 2 surprise albums, Folklore and Evermore. So here I go with The One from Folklore. Now this is actually one of my least favorites from the whole Folklore era, if that makes sense. Or the whole Folklore Evermore era. So I'm gonna have to, as bad as it sounds, I feel like The One is filler for me. I just don't really, I'm just not into it as other people are for some reason. I don't know why. Like, maybe it would eventually grow on me as years go by, but for some reason, I just like, even though I can relate to it, it just, I feel like there's other songs I can relate to more than it. Or that I can really get into. So, Cardigan, I actually like I Can Jam. It was the single and the one that had the song that had a music video for Folklore, which is really good. The last great American dynasty. OMG. I'm gonna have to put that as literally life changing. Like OMG. Like Taylor Swift literally did save 2020 with just that song alone, The Last Great American Dynasty. I love the story of that song, and I really hope that they make a movie based on that song someday. It's fucking great. Exile. Another song that I have to say is literally life changing for Folklore, because I mean, a lot of people would actually agree. Folklore is probably Taylor Swift's is probably arguably her best album, or one of her best albums. Which was crazy considering it was an album that was made out of isolation in in the 2020 COVID-19 pandemic. So, My Tears Ricochet, another song that's literally life changing for Folklore. Mirror Ball, I actually really like this one, but I would put it as I Can Jam. Illicit Affairs, one of my absolute favorites from Folklore. I gotta put as literally life changing. Invisible String, a beautiful love song. OMG, I would have to put this, right next to Mirror Ball is I Can Jam. Mad Woman, OMG. I gotta put this literally life changing. Mad Woman, OMG, one of her best songs ever. And I love how vengeful and vindictive that song is. Like, ooh, no one likes a mad woman. And I love the lyrics as well. Epiphany. Actually, this is actually one of my least favorites from Folklore, but I still like it in a way, but in my opinion, it's just another song I could just jam to. Betty, OMG. Betty's definitely going to literally life changing. I fucking love that song, Betty. I love the lyrics and the storyline, and that was another song that definitely deserved a music video that we did not get. Peace. I like this song, but I'm gonna have to put it as I could just jam. Hoax, same thing, I Can Jam. The Lakes. Actually, I really love this song, and even though it's not really very upbeat or anything, this is an iconic bop in my opinion. The Lakes. 7. Another iconic bop from Folklore. August, OMG. Literally life changing, OMG. I love that song so much, August. And then This Is Me Trying, OMG. that's also going to go literally life change. So this shows you just how much I love folklore. So here's my rankings of Taylor's folklore album. To me, it has one filler, which is the one which was the opening track. Then I Can Jam to Cardigan, Mirrorball, Invisible String, Epiphany, Peace and Hoax. And then iconic bops for me was The Lakes and Seven. Then literally life changing was The Last Great American Dynasty, Exile, My Tears Ricochet, Illicit Affairs, Mad Woman, Betty, August, and This Is Me Trying. Now for Taylor's most recent album, Evermore. And since I don't think I'll be doing a review with my friend on this album, here's my chance to kind of at least give you an idea of where I stand with this album so far. It's been released. It's been out for like 10 days now by the time I'm doing this video. So here I go. So here will give you an idea. Anybody, like all my friends out there who know how much of a Taylor Swift I am. I mean, how much of a Taylor Swift fan I am. Will give you an idea of how much I love this album and what songs I can relate to and don't relate to, and songs I just really can't live without. I'll start with Willow. For me, Willow, even though a friend of mine doesn't really like this song that much, I have to put as an iconic bop. I actually really love this one, Willow. I love the lyrics, and I love the lyric, I come back strong within a 90s trend. That was fucking brilliant, Taylor. Now, Champagne Problems. I actually really love this one. And in my opinion, I love the storyline. Literally life-changing. Oh my god, yes. Cowboy Like Me. Now, this is actually one of my least favorites from Evermore, believe it or not. So, this, for me, is like the only filler track on the album. Yes, I would go as far as say it's the only filler track, at least for me. The one I relate to the least. Long story short, OMG, an iconic bop. I love that song. Marjorie, OMG, you already know it's going to go on literally life-changing, especially anyone who knows my story knows. I mean, that I could definitely relate to that song because I've lost quite a few loved ones over the years, and this is basically how this song basically describes how I feel about my mom and even my grandmother, who I lost before her back in 2009, because I lost my grandmother in 2009. Which, I mean, this song, Marjorie was actually written about Taylor Swift's grandmother, who she lost when she was only 13, back in 2003. And so I basically, Marjorie is a song I can dedicate both my grandmother and my mom. And my mom, of course, I lost my mom in 2015. So Closure. Now, even though the song has a very interesting intro and a very weird intro, some people think it's like a loud noise or something like it's very irritating or something. For me, I actually like it, and I can understand why it's there. Especially if you read the theories online about the album and everything. So for me, Closure is an iconic bop, in my opinion. I actually really like it. Evermore, OMG. I love... This is like the last song on the standard version of the album. And oh my god, it's literally life-changing. At least in my opinion. My honest opinion. Right Where You Left Me. Which is actually one of the bonus tracks. I actually really love this song. I love how upbeat it is. And I actually think it deserved to be on the standard version of the album. But I can see why it wasn't. And I actually think it's kind of interesting that this song was as upbeat as it is. Like, 'cause it feels like it didn't fit on Evermore. And I was expecting maybe the bonus tracks to sound a little bit like The Lakes from Folklore. Because The Lakes was a bonus track from Folklore. And so, I mean, to me, the two bonus tracks, which was Right Where You Left Me and It's Time to Go, actually, both of those songs sound a lot like Ode Taylor from, like, Red-ish to 1989-ish era Taylor Swift. So my theory is why she put those songs as bonus tracks on Evermore and didn't release them right away when she released Evermore is because I think this was giving her fans an idea of what to expect when we hear more new music from her. And I'm not just talking about like new music. Like I'm talking about the next time we hear music from Taylor Swift that she releases will be the re-recordings, and this will give you an idea that Taylor's coming back, and she's going to be releasing the re-recordings of her first 5 albums. At least that's basically how I take it. But maybe that's why, even though these are brand new songs, Right Where You Left Me and It's Time to Go sound like they do. Like old Taylor Swift songs because they literally do sound like songs that could have easily been on 1989 or Red. At least in my honest opinion. So that's why maybe I'm thinking that's why they were more upbeat than what is actually on the album Evermore. Gold Rush, OMG. I actually really love this song. I'm going to put it as an iconic bop. 'Tis the Damn Season. OMG. Literally life changing. Also, I gotta say about Gold Rush, I love the message of the song, and that song basically describes me, how I am when I'm in a relationship, especially in some of my past relationships. Especially when you get with someone and you feel like everybody else wants to be with that person too. I mean, that's basically how I felt about my ex-girlfriend when I was with her. So, or even my ex-boyfriend that I just broke up with a few months ago, which was a very toxic relationship and situation for me. But when I was madly in love, that's basically how I felt, and it was like, I don't know, it just destroyed me inside that my exes weren't faithful to me, and I just didn't want to have to compete with other guys or other girls. So yeah, but yeah, Tis Dem Season, OMG, literally life changing. I fucking love that song. Tolerate It, I also gotta say, it's literally life changing for me. I fucking love that song. And it is a track 5, and it's very sad and beautiful. And very we're pretty tragic as well. And I can definitely relate to it because I felt like that in previous relationships of mine. Like, tolerate it. Like, I know my love should be celebrated, but you tolerate it. Just beautiful. Nobody No Crime, OMG. This song gives me complete Before He Cheats, 2 Black Cadillacs vibes from like Carrie Underwood. Like, this song, like, I don't know, it just gives me, or maybe even Goodbye Earl from the Dixie Chicks vibes. Nobody No Crime, like, I love it. And the fact that it was actually, that Taylor was inspired to write this song from true crime podcasts and documentaries, it's no brainer. That just gives me goosebumps because I love that kind of shit. So Nobody No Crime, definitely literally life changing in my opinion, and it's featuring the Haim sisters. OMG, just so fucking good. I also love the name drop for the restaurant in that song, Olive Garden. Which, fun fact, Olive Garden was actually my sister's first job. My sister Amy, that you probably have seen before, in one way or another. In some of my other streams or videos I've done with friends. But yeah, my sister Amy's first job ever before she started working at Walmart was Olive Garden. So I just thought that was pretty cool that Taylor name dropped Olive Garden in one of her new songs, which was my sister's first job, and she worked at Olive Garden for I think like 2 or 3 months back in 2014. But she didn't really like it because the management kind of sucked back then. So I don't know, maybe things have changed since then, but yeah. Olive Garden was my sister's first job back in 2014. Happiness. I actually really love this song, even though it's a very, very slow-paced song. But I don't know. I can definitely relate to it. I'll put it as I Can Jam. Dorothea, OMG, I really love this song. I'm gonna put it as literally life changing, only for the simple fact. One of my favorite theories about this album is that song was written about Taylor's bestie, Selena Gomez, which I think is cool in the sense that, I mean, even though Taylor doesn't say Selena's name in the song, where a lot of people put the theory together because they said Selena Gomez's favorite movie, she said in interviews, was The Wizard of Oz, and the main character from The Wizard of Oz is Dorothy. And then, of course, like, Selena's name is Selena, so it's almost like Taylor combined the names Dorothy and Selena into one, like, song. Like, combined the names, like, as a song title, and, like, it became Dorothea. Like, Dorothea. And if you listen to the lyrics, a lot of the lyrics could actually be about Selena Gomez in a way, but, I mean, I don't think the whole song may be about Selena, but because I feel like Dorothea connects a lot to the song "'Tis the Damn Season," which was earlier on in the album. But Dorothea was definitely still, I don't know, a very beautiful song, and like the part of the lyrics where she part of the lyrics of the song where she says, "You're selling dreams, selling makeup and magazines." I mean, that could easily be about like Selena Gomez, because Selena Gomez just started a beauty line earlier this year called Rare Beauty. So Taylor, so Selena is actually selling makeup now, and I mean, she's always been on covers of magazines and things like that. So I just love that theory so much, and I hope we eventually do get a collab between Taylor and Selena on a song someday. Now I got 2 songs left before I finish this out, which is Coney Island. I love this song featuring The National. And I think I'd put that as an iconic bop. I really love that song. And then Ivy, this is, in my opinion, one of the weaker songs on the album, but I still like it for the most part. So I'm going to put it as I Can Jam. So yeah, this is my ranking of Taylor's Evermore album. In my opinion, it has one filler, which is Cowboy Like Me. I Can Jam to Happiness and Ivy. The iconic bops for me are Willow, Long Story Short, Closure, Gold Rush, and Coney Island. And then the literally life-changing songs from Evermore, just shows you just how much I love this album in general, is Champagne Problems, Marjorie, Evermore, Right Where You Left Me, It's Time to Go, 'Tis the Damn Season, Tolerate It, Nobody No Crime, and Dorothea. So yeah, that's my tier list of all Taylor Swift songs. And as a recap, I'm going to go through all of them now. For me, Taylor's literally life-changing songs are Tim McGraw, Teardrops on My Guitar, Fearless, 15, Love Story, White Horse, You Belong With Me, Forever and Always, Mine, Back to December, Dear John, Enchanted, Long Live Ours, I Knew You Were Trouble, All Too Well, I Almost Do, We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together, Sad, Beautiful, Tragic, The Lucky One, Everything Has Changed, Starlight, Begin Again, The Moment I Knew, Blank Space, Out of the Woods, Shake It Off, I Wished You Would, How You Get the Girl, Clean, Ready for It, I Did Something Bad, Delicate, Getaway Car, This Is Why We Can't Have Nice Things, Call It What You Want, Miss Americana and the Heartbreak Prince, Cornelia Street, Soon You'll Get Better, False God, You Need to Calm Down, Daylight, Babe, Both of Us, Highway Don't Care, Ronan, The Last Great American Dynasty, Exile, My Tears Ricochet, Illicit Affairs, Mad Woman, Betty, August, This Is Me Trying, Champagne Problems, Marjorie, Evermore, Right Where You Left Me, It's Time to Go, 'Tis the Damn Season, Tolerate It, Nobody No Crime, Dorothea. Now, the iconic bops for me out of Taylor Swift's discography is Picture the Barn, Cold as You, I Should Have Said No, Our Song, A Perfectly Good Heart, You're Not Sorry, The Way I Loved You, The Best Day, Sparks Fly, Speak Now, Mean, The Story of Us, Better Than Revenge, Last Kiss, State of Grace, Red, 22, Stay, 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 Holy Ground. Style, all you had to do was stay, Bad Blood, This Love, I Know Places, New Romantics, Endgame, Look What You Made Me Do, Gorgeous, King of My Heart, Dancing with Our Hands Tied, Dress, Cruel Summer, The Man, Paper Rings, Beautiful Ghosts, Only the Young, Two is Better Than One, The Lakes, 7, Willow, Long Story Short, Closure, Gold Rush, Coney Island. And I Can Jam, 2, A Place in This World, The Outside, Stay Beautiful, Mary Song, Oh My My My, I'm Only Me When I'm With You, Invisible, Hey Stephen, Breathe, Tell Me Why, Change, Never Grow Up, Innocent, Superman, Treacherous, The Last Time, Come Back, Be Here, Girl at Home, Welcome to New York, Wildest Dreams, Wonderland, You Are in Love, Don't Blame Me, New Year's Day, I Forgot That You Existed, The Archer, London Boy, Afterglow, Me. Crazier, Eyes Open, Half of My Heart, I Heart ? I Lie, Sweeter Than Fiction, Today Was a Fairy Tale, Cardigan, Mirrorball, Invisible String, Epiphany, Peace, Hoax, Happiness, and Ivy. The filler tracks from all Taylor Swift's discography, in my honest opinion, is Tied Together with a Smile, Jump Then Fall, Untouchable, Come In With the Rain, Superstar, The Other Side of the Door, If This Was a Movie, So It Goes, Lover, I Think He Knows, Death by a Thousand Cuts, Beautiful Eyes, The One, and Cowboy Like Me. And songs that I would skip from Taylor's discography, there's only 4 songs I would skip, and that is Haunted, It's Nice to Have a Friend, I Don't Want to Live Forever, and Safe and Sound. And Blake Shelton Taylor, I really didn't know what song to put there. I don't even know why that was one of the tiers, but so that's why I just used the other 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 slots. So, but yeah, that's my tier list, my ranking of pretty much all of Taylor Swift's songs from her career all the way back from her debut in 2006 to now in 2020 with her 2 new surprise albums, Folklore and Evermore. And so, yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. And, yeah, I love you, Taylor. And I can't wait for your re-recordings, hopefully next year. In 2021, baby. But yes, I'm just so excited. OMG. I love you, Taylor Swift. I'm a huge Swiftie. But yeah, that's gonna do it for me for now. This has been your favorite Chipmunk Boy Alvin here. And don't forget to stay giggity, everybody. Taylor rocks, man. And I am monking out. See ya.